Welcome to Warriors of the World. Today, we'll dive deep into the heart of New Zealand's islands, a place where the warrior spirit of the Maori still echoes. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. You're standing on a secluded beach, surrounded by towering mountains that guard the secrets of the ancients. The wind blows fiercely, carrying the chants of Maori warriors, and you can feel the weight of their stories in the air. Now, picture a group of men before you. Their faces are adorned with intricate tattoos, not merely decorative designs, but vivid narratives of their lives, their lineage, and their battles. They stand tall and resolute, their eyes fixed on the horizon, embodying a strength that seems unshakable. Imagine facing them. The sound of drums begins to fill the air, quickening your pulse. You watch as the warriors move in perfect unison, performing the Haka. Every chest beat, every thunderous shout, is a declaration to the world. We are ready. Their piercing, defiant gazes leave no doubt. These men aren't just prepared to fight. They are ready to defend what is sacred to them. Maori warriors were not mere soldiers. They were fierce guardians of their families, devoted protectors of their gods, and steadfast defenders of their land. For them, war was far more than physical conflict. It was Maori Warriors, the way of the weapon, a journey that intertwined bravery with deep spirituality. In this episode, we'll explore every facet of this captivating world, discovering how these warriors lived, fought, and left behind a legacy that still resonates today. Picture a leap back in time, 1,000 years ago. From distant islands in Polynesia, the ancestors of the Maori embarked on an unparalleled maritime odyssey. In massive canoes, they braved vast, open oceans and relentless storms. Each stroke of the paddle was an act of endurance, every wave a test of their determination. When they finally reached the shores of New Zealand, they didn't just find new land. They encountered an immense challenge: dense forests, towering mountains, and an unpredictable climate that would push them to their limits. The arrival in New Zealand marked the beginning of a unique cultural transformation. In this unfamiliar terrain, the Maori developed survival strategies tailored to the island's harsh wilderness. Here, threats didn't just come from rival tribes but from a natural environment that demanded strength, ingenuity, and a profound spiritual connection to the elements. For the Maori, everything in nature was alive. Mountains, rivers, and even stones were believed to have their own spirit. This deep respect shaped their warrior culture, forging a balance between reverence and resilience. At the heart of their society were the iwi, tribes, and hapu, clans, tightly knit communities bound by family ties and mutual respect. However, intense rivalries also existed, often erupting into conflicts. Each battle carried the weight of centuries of history, and its outcome could determine the fate of entire generations. Over time, these rivalries gave rise to a revered and formidable warrior class, ready to defend their mana, their spiritual power and prestige, at any cost. Now, imagine yourself in the midst of a Maori training session. Around you, warriors wield their weapons with a skill that seems almost otherworldly. But this mastery isn't magic. It's the result of years of relentless training, a discipline instilled from a young age. To be a warrior was not just about physical strength. It was also about cultivating the spirit and fortifying one's mana, that vital energy that symbolized spiritual connection and personal prestige. Maori warriors were not only strong, they were strategic and exceptionally skilled in combat. Every technique, every movement, was honed to become a lethal art. Their weapons were not mere tools of battle but sacred extensions of their own spirit, treated with the utmost respect and reverence. One of their most iconic weapons was the taiaha, a wooden spear-like weapon with a sharpened blade at one end, used for both offense and defense. Mastering the taiaha required precision, speed, and total control over one's body. Warriors learned to move with agility, anticipating their opponent's actions and striking with pinpoint accuracy at just the right moment. In the hands of a true master, the taiaha became a deadly dance, where every movement could decide the outcome of the fight. Another formidable weapon was the mere, a short blade made of greenstone or jade. Despite its size, the mere was a powerful and prestigious weapon, often carried by chiefs and highly respected warriors. Its use required finesse and calculation, as every strike needed to be deliberate and precise. Picture a warrior holding their mere, locking eyes with their opponent, calculating every move in a tense silence before delivering a decisive blow. Maori warriors relied on more than just strength and skill. They were also masters of tactics and strategy. Familiar with the land, they used the natural environment to their advantage. Ambushes, surprise attacks, and elevated terrain were some of their most effective methods. For instance, they often struck at dawn, when the mist blanketed the battlefield and rendered them nearly invisible. For them, victory wasn't solely about brute force. Cunning and foresight were equally important. One of their most remarkable innovations was the construction and use of strategically located fortifications built on hills or elevated terrain. These complexes were surrounded by wooden palisades and reinforced by natural barriers like cliffs and steep slopes. From these vantage points, warriors could launch attacks with ease while maintaining control over the surrounding land. Before entering battle, Maori warriors performed the Haka, a powerful war chant that went beyond being a mere ritual. The Haka was a psychological weapon, designed to intimidate the enemy and display the unity and strength of the group. Imagine standing before a line of Maori warriors as they beat their chests, shout fiercely, and fix their unyielding gazes upon you. Every gesture, every word in the Haka, carried a clear message: we fear nothing. More than a war cry, it was a declaration of intent, a way of showing their enemies that they were ready to fight to the end. This intensity was often enough to weaken the morale of any opponent before the battle had even begun. Beyond their physical prowess and strategic brilliance, Maori warriors stood out for their deep spiritual connection to their weapons and traditions. Each tool of combat was more than a mere instrument. It was imbued with cultural and spiritual significance, treated with the same reverence as their ancestors. For example, the taiaha was not only used in battle but also played a ceremonial role. Before a conflict, warriors performed rituals to consecrate their weapons, infusing them with mana, the spiritual energy that granted strength and protection. Through chants, prayers, and dances, these weapons became talismans, powerful symbols of their connection to the gods and their lineage. The history of the Maori is also rich with legendary figures who embodied the values of courage, honor, and leadership. One of the most renowned warriors was Haka, a visionary leader of the Ngapuhi iwi. In the 19th century, Haka revolutionized combat by integrating firearms acquired through trade with Europeans into traditional Maori tactics. Yet, he didn't simply adopt the new technology. He merged it with ancestral strategies, creating a unique style of warfare that left an indelible mark on the power dynamics among iwi. Another iconic figure was Te Raparaha, celebrated for his cunning and determination. He is the composer of the famous Ka-mate Haka, which remains a powerful cultural symbol and is performed worldwide, especially by the All Blacks rugby team. Te Raparaha's life was a testament to resilience and strategic brilliance. He not only led his tribe through epic battles but also left a cultural legacy that continues to inspire pride in Maori identity. For the Maori, battle wasn't merely a test of physical strength. It was deeply intertwined with spirituality. Warriors believed their fights were guided by gods and blessed by their ancestors. Before a significant conflict, leaders sought the counsel of Tohunga, wise spiritual advisors who interpreted omens and conducted rituals to ensure success. For example, an eclipse or a sudden storm might be seen as a bad omen, leading a tribe to postpone or even cancel a battle. This profound respect for the spiritual realm demonstrated how the Maori integrated ancestral wisdom into every aspect of their lives, from warfare to everyday decisions. One of the most striking aspects of Maori warrior culture was ta moko, the intricate facial tattoos that they wore with pride. Each line and spiral carved into the skin told a unique story, a warrior's genealogy, achievements in battle, social rank, and spiritual connection to their iwi. Ta moko was far more than decoration. It was a living document, a declaration of identity and belonging. Imagine standing before a Maori warrior, and just by observing the patterns on their face, learning about the challenges they had overcome, the victories they had claimed, and the power of their mana. These tattoos were seen as a spiritual armor, a constant reminder of who they were and what they represented. For the Maori, war was not merely physical confrontation. It was an art where every detail mattered. One of their most ingenious tactics was the construction of strategically placed fortifications on hills or elevated terrain. These structures were designed to maximize natural defenses, such as cliffs and steep slopes, and were reinforced with wooden palisades. From within a warriors could maintain full control of the surrounding area, observing enemy movements and launching attacks from advantageous positions. Imagine a shrouded in morning mist, with warriors hidden in the shadows, ready to strike with lethal precision. These fortresses were more than shelters. They were testaments to Maori ingenuity, built to withstand even the fiercest assaults. Another fundamental tactic was the use of the haka before battle. This powerful chant served not only to unite the warriors but also to intimidate their enemies. Imagine standing before a line of Maori warriors beating their chests, shouting with fierce intensity, and staring at you with unwavering determination. For the Maori, the haka was a declaration of courage and resolve, a way to show their enemies they were prepared to fight to the last breath. In addition to these strategies, Maori warriors excelled in ambushes and lightning-fast attacks. With an intimate knowledge of their land, they leveraged natural elements to their advantage, hiding in vegetation or striking during moments of vulnerability, such as at dawn or during storms. For them, cunning and the element of surprise were just as vital as brute strength. One of the most intriguing concepts in Maori culture was utu, a principle of balance and reciprocity. According to this philosophy, every action required an equivalent response. If one tribe attacked another, it was expected that there would eventually be retaliation, whether immediately or even decades later. This principle created a complex dynamic between tribes, where alliances and rivalries constantly shifted. Utu governed not only warfare but also social and political interactions. Imagine living in a society where every action, good or bad, could have repercussions felt by future generations. This understanding made every decision deliberate, knowing it could set off a chain of events that would ripple through time. With the arrival of Europeans, the Maori faced dramatic shifts in the landscape of war. Firearms, introduced through trade, revolutionized tribal conflicts. However, the Maori didn't abandon their traditions. Instead, they combined them with the new technology, demonstrating a remarkable ability to adapt. Leaders like Haka used these modern weapons to reinforce their strategies while maintaining respect for traditional techniques. This fusion of the new and the ancestral allowed the Maori to preserve their identity while meeting unprecedented challenges. For Maori warriors, preparation for battle went far beyond physical training. It was deeply rooted in spirituality. Before a fight, sacred rituals were performed to strengthen their mana, the vital spiritual energy that represented their prestige and power. These rituals included prayers, meditations, and sometimes fasting or small sacrifices, all intended to channel the protection of their ancestors. The tohunga, or spiritual leaders, played a crucial role in these ceremonies, guiding warriors through chants and invocations that reinforced their connection to the spiritual realm. Imagine standing in one of these rituals at dawn, surrounded by silent warriors as chants fill the air, invoking the strength of generations past. Another essential spiritual element was the karakia, a prayer or incantation recited before battles, during training, and even at the funerals of fallen comrades. The karakia was believed to create a spiritual shield that warded off misfortune and infused the warrior with confidence. Each word was a reminder that their fight was not merely for survival but to honor their tribe and their ancestors. In addition to personal rituals, Maori warriors also consecrated their weapons through tapu, a ritual that elevated these items to a sacred status. The taiaha, the mir, and other tools were treated with the utmost respect, seen as extensions of the warrior's spirit. The tapu not only protected the wielder but also heightened the symbolic power of the weapon. Imagine a warrior holding a newly consecrated taiaha, moving into battle with the conviction that every strike was backed by the strength of their gods and ancestors. The Maori viewed the natural and spiritual worlds as inseparable. Before a battle, leaders consulted tohunga to interpret signs and omens. An eclipse, a sudden storm, or even the flight of a bird could be seen as divine messages that influenced strategic decisions. If an omen was unfavorable, tribes would not hesitate to delay or cancel a conflict. This profound respect for the spiritual realm shows how the Maori wove ancestral wisdom into every aspect of their lives, from warfare to everyday decisions. The balance between the physical and the spiritual. At the heart of every Maori warrior was a balance between physical strength and spiritual connection. This bond gave them not only the courage to face death but also the certainty that they were fighting for something far greater than themselves. The continuity of their lineage, the protection of their land, and the preservation of their honor. Maori warriors were more than just fighters. Many became living legends whose stories were passed down through generations. These tales celebrated not only their physical prowess but also the strength of their mana, which symbolized leadership and resilience. Among the most iconic figures was Haka, a leader whose vision transformed how tribes waged war. During the 19th century, Haka utilized firearms acquired through trade with Europeans to consolidate his dominance. Yet, he didn't merely adopt new technology. He fused it with traditional Maori strategies, creating a revolutionary style of combat that altered the balance of power among the iwi. Another celebrated figure was Te Raparaha, renowned for his cunning and determination. He was the composer of the famous Haka Ka Mate, still performed today, especially by the All Blacks rugby team. Te Raparaha's life was marked by conflicts, strategic alliances, and an unshakable resolve that made him a symbol of Maori pride. His haka was not just a war cry, it was a declaration of life, a reminder of the constant struggle for survival and dignity. The stories of these warriors are more than historical accounts. They form the foundation of Maori identity. Each feat and sacrifice reinforces the collective pride of a people who have always fought for their place in the world. Through oral tradition, these heroes serve as examples of courage and perseverance, inspiring new generations to protect their culture and history. Imagine sitting with an elder Maori, listening to tales of Haka or Te Raparaha told with passion. These legends, shared around a fire, not only teach about the past but also offer lessons for facing today's challenges. If there is one aspect of Maori culture that has transcended time and borders, it is the haka. While its origins are deeply rooted in war rituals, the haka has evolved into a powerful symbol of cultural identity, representing strength, unity, and pride. The most well-known haka, Ka Mate, was composed by Te Raparaha and is performed at events ranging from ceremonies to sports competitions. But it's far more than a spectacle. The haka is a connection to the past, a cry that evokes the warrior spirit of the ancestors. Imagine the emotional impact of witnessing a group perform the haka. Their synchronized movements, intense expressions, and resonant voices transport you to the very heart of Maori culture. In the modern world, the haka has found a special place in sports, particularly thanks to New Zealand's All Blacks rugby team. Before every match, the players perform the haka as a declaration of strength and determination. For them, it is not just a tradition but a reminder that they carry the spirit of a warrior people who never back down from challenges. This ritual not only motivates the team but also intimidates their opponents. The energetic movements, powerful shouts, and unwavering gazes convey a clear message. They are ready to give their all. It is impossible not to feel moved when witnessing this powerful cultural display that blends tradition, passion, and strategy. Though it originates with the Maori, the haka has become a bridge connecting New Zealand to the world. It serves as a way to share the richness of their heritage, showing how traditions can adapt to new contexts without losing their essence. Every time the haka is performed, it reaffirms the pride of a people and sends a universal message about the importance of keeping our roots alive. The haka is not just a chant, it is a living legacy that inspires, unites, and reminds the world that the Maori spirit remains as strong as ever. The legacy of Maori warriors lives not only in traditions and rituals but also in modern popular culture. Through film, literature, and video games, their image has been reimagined and celebrated, bringing their story to a global audience. One of the most striking representations on the big screen is the film Once Were Warriors, which offers a raw and emotional portrayal of contemporary Maori life. While the movie focuses on modern social struggles, it highlights how the warrior spirit remains alive, adapting to the challenges of a changing world. The story shows that while the battles have evolved, the core of the Maori warrior, their pride, resilience, and connection to their heritage, endures. Another notable representation appears in movies like The Last Samurai, where characters inspired by Maori culture embody honor, a deep bond with the land, and combat mastery. Additionally, in fantasy and action films, elements such as facial tattoos and traditional weapons often draw from Maori aesthetics, solidifying their influence as a symbol of strength and tradition. The gaming world has also drawn inspiration from Maori culture, showcasing their global impact. Games like For Honor feature characters whose abilities and fighting styles reflect the prowess of these Polynesian warriors. With weapons like spears and agile movements, developers have created avatars that pay homage to the power and precision of Maori combatants. These games not only celebrate the Maori legacy but also introduce a new generation to this rich culture, even in an adapted form. Seeing Maori warriors represented in modern media reinforces their relevance and their place in history as icons of resilience and skill. Whether on the big screen or in a video game, Maori warriors have captured the global imagination, proving that their influence extends far beyond their homeland. These modern interpretations not only entertain but also educate, delivering a powerful message about the importance of cultural identity and staying connected to our roots. From battlefields to art and technology, Maori warriors remain symbols of strength, honor, and bravery, inspiring millions around the world. Today, the warrior spirit of the Maori manifests not only on battlefields but in the defense of their cultural identity. During the 20th century, the Maori faced significant challenges in protecting their language, customs, and spiritual connection to the land from the pressures of European colonization. One of the greatest victories in this modern struggle was the revival of the Maori language, which had been on the brink of extinction. Thanks to community and educational initiatives, Te Reo Maori has been revitalized, becoming an essential part of contemporary life in New Zealand. Today, it is taught in schools, celebrated at festivals, and spoken at national events, strengthening the bond between new generations and their cultural roots. For the Maori, speaking their ancestral language is an act of resistance and pride. Every word uttered in Te Reo honors the warriors of the past who fought to preserve their legacy and serves as a powerful reminder of the collective strength that defines their people. Beyond language, the Maori have led movements to safeguard their ancestral lands and spiritual practices. Their deep connection to nature is central to their worldview, with mountains, rivers, and forests regarded as living entities with their own spirits. This respect for nature has driven the Maori to champion environmental causes, protecting sacred territories and promoting sustainable practices that honor their ancestral beliefs. Imagine walking through a marae, a sacred meeting place, where young Maori learn the traditions of their forebears, from performing the Haka to storytelling, ensuring their cultural heritage remains vibrant. Today, Maori culture is not only a treasure for its people but also a symbol of national identity for all of New Zealand. The integration of Maori elements into daily life, from official ceremonies to sports, demonstrates the country's respect and admiration for this rich history. The Haka, for example, represents not just the Maori but all of New Zealand as a nation proud of its diversity and its connection to its indigenous roots. This celebration of Maori heritage strengthens the sense of community and showcases to the world the power of keeping traditions alive. As we conclude this journey through the history and culture of the Maori warriors, it's impossible not to admire the richness and complexity of their legacy. These warriors did more than fight for their land and people. They stood for timeless values, honor, a connection to their ancestors, and a profound respect for nature. Imagine the centuries of history that shaped the Maori, their struggles, and their rituals. To some, these warriors are heroes, protectors who sacrificed everything for their land and their people. To others, they represent a warrior past, defending what they held sacred with relentless intensity. The line between hero and fierce defender is thin, and perhaps it's this duality that makes Maori warriors so captivating. The Maori invite us to reflect on what it means to be a true warrior in the modern world. It's not just about fighting with weapons but about defending what we value most: our identity, our roots, and our beliefs. They teach us that every battle, whether physical or spiritual, is an opportunity to honor our history and fortify our legacy. In a constantly changing world, the example of the Maori warriors reminds us that true strength comes from within, from our connection to the past and our determination to face the future with courage and purpose. Today, Maori culture continues to be a source of inspiration, not just for their people but for the entire world. Their warriors, both historical and modern, show us that resilience and perseverance are essential for preserving what we love. So, as we say farewell to this fascinating exploration, let the spirit of these warriors resonate within you. The Maori remind us that we all have something worth fighting for and that even as the world changes, our values and inner strength endure. If this story inspired you, don't forget to follow our channel and become a member of Warriors of the World. Join us on the front lines as we explore the stories of legendary warriors and uncover what it truly means to fight for something greater. See you in the next battle.